John, what are the NHL teams that are really sticking out to you? Either NHL teams or players that are sticking out to you this season?
My best teams, obviously, you got to say Boston Bruins have been really good. Colorado Avalanche have been really good. I wanted to say the Philadelphia Flyers, but they've kind of been up and down lately.
And
Pittsburgh,
not just because of COVID.
no, no, it's they've gotten some wonky efforts from Carter Hart, which has been kind of surprising. Out west, the Golden Knights have been really good. They beat Colorado last night, I believe. St. Louis has been another strong effort from them this season. Edmonton has been lighting up that division, and if we're going to talk about players, you got to start with Connor McJesus. Yeah, I called him McJesus, and he is literally. If Wayne Gretzky is God, Connor McDavid is absolutely Jesus. He is the second coming. And this guy is just been incredible. He's on pace for over 100 points right now in 56 games.
Yeah,
That's insane.
That's nuts.
And it's funny because that North Division has been noted as the no defense division.
Or the cupcake division, as
Yeah, the
Alexander
cupcake.
Ovechkin called it.
Yeah, it's been an interesting division because nobody seems to play defense there. But yeah,
Which is good if you have Jacob Markstrom and Carey Price on your fantasy team.
Oh God.
I got to point out that team that's in first place in that North Division and their top player, Austin Matthews, is just on fire. That just seems to drive McDavid to do better. I mean, McDavid had what was it, a 5-point night on Saturday, as Matthews had 4, and his second goal on Carey Price Saturday night, that was just a rip.
Oh man, he Connor McDavid, and then the goal he scored against Markstrom, where it came up and literally looked the pass off and shot it right through. Like I don't know how McDavid can. He's the most skilled player I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
People will say Mario Lemieux. Mario Lemieux. I'll stand by this. Mario Lemieux is the prototypical package of what a hockey player should be: skill, size, smarts, speed, agility. Hands, shot, everything. But in terms of just pure, unadulterated skill, it's Connor McDavid. And Connor McDavid is just by far, he does things that we're never going to see again, probably. Try taking a Ferrari and driving on the Southern State with it at about 155 miles an hour. Connor McDavid is like that every game, but he's seeing the road and handling it like he's a Camry going 55. Everything is just slow to him, despite the fact that he's just playing at such a fast pace, and he's got an incredible set of hands. His burst is just gone in a step, and you can't touch him. You can't. 37 points in 20 games.
And again, I'm going to go right back to that team that's in first place. And I mean, Austin Matthews has been such a bulldog this season. He had a one-timer goal the other night that he got the feed from the point, and it was almost like he was screaming, "Get the hell in the net!" And he just got it right. I think it was Carey Price that had there. And immediately, of course, he points to the guy that passed it to him. Him right now, 18 goals, 11 assists, 29 points. And him and Marner are just on fire and just going through everybody. We haven't even talked about 3 teams. One of them is going to make my friend Pete happy. So when you watch this, Pete, this is also for you. But that's not what's going to make him happy. You got the Tampa Bay Lightning, which are playing really well. And then you got a lot of jam up there with Carolina, who's enjoying playing in the Central Division. And the guy that I originally selected to win the MVP, just to be an off-the-board guy, Sebastian Aho, although he's still having a pretty good year. But the surprise of the NHL is the Florida Panthers.
You know what? I just kind of muttered Chicago while you were speaking because they're another surprise team. They were before the other day when Carolina and Chicago faced each other, they were tied at 21 points.
Yeah.
Who thought the Blackhawks would be there? But you're absolutely right. Florida is playing like a completely different team under Joe Quenneville right now. And it's funny because we were talking about trade rumors before. A lot of Ranger fans and a lot of fans in general have mentioned Alexander Barkov's name for the start of this season. I've even seen people mention it today on social media, Alexander Barkov, that they'd rather trade for Alexander Barkov than Jack Eichel. And I understand why. But Florida keeps playing like this. Alexander Barkov is not going anywhere.
Right. And this is the way people wanted Florida to play for a while. This is the way I thought Florida might play last year. Now,
Same.
We could talk all we want about Jacob Trouba's contract. We could talk all we want about Jeff Skinner's contract. But Florida's doing this with a $10 million goalie that's not even playing that much.
No.
I mean,
Drieger
remember the kids. Thank you.
Drieger.
I couldn't remember how to pronounce it. I wasn't sure if it was Drieger or Drieger.
Drieger, yeah, he's the one that's been. It seems like he's getting the wins,
which is sort of what's confusing me now. Why would they offer that money to Bobrovsky anyway if you draft Spencer Knight in the same year?
I never got. I never understood it. You know what? They drafted. Actually, thinking about it now, I do understand it. They wanted to get Panarin and Bobrovsky in a package deal, and the two of them were taking pictures in Florida together on the beach, and everybody thought that, oh, well, Florida's going to get – I even thought Panarin was going to Florida. I said to myself, if they didn't get Panarin, okay, just as long as they didn't sign Erik Karlsson. Thankfully, they didn't. You know, that it was going to be okay. We were going to have an okay offseason. We're going to have Capo Caco. We're going to go forward. But we ended up getting Panarin. And Florida and the Islanders both wanted Sergei Bobrovsky, partially both as a pitch to try to get Artemi Panarin to come play with his really good friend. So that didn't happen for Florida. Florida ended up getting the goaltender that they wanted, but they gave a Carey Price-like contract out to a 31-year-old. That's a big mistake.
And on top of it, we still have Dallas with only 13 games played, and they got 14 points. Wow, that top four in that division. So
anyone have Florida as having a double-digit goal differential in the plus column on their bingo card for 2021? Check it off.
Yeah. I don't see anybody with that. Yeah. Put your hand down, Joel Quenneville. You didn't even think that was going to happen. But before we wrap this up, who do you think comes out of each division playoff-wise? Not the division winners.
You know what? I'm going to go bold here because I don't know why I could see this, but I could see them being a real handful to play against come playoff time. And I know that I said that they were a dark horse earlier on, or one of my two dark horses. Montreal and North, because I just think that defense is so good. If Shea Weber stays healthy and if Carey Price stays healthy and gets hot, then I would not want to face that team in a playoff series. I really wouldn't, because they've got depth up and down the lineup. They play fast. They play hard. Now they've got size with guys like Josh Anderson. You have your annoying pest like Brendan Gallagher. I think that's going to be a tough team to play against. In the Central, I got to say Tampa Bay. I know it's the easy pick to make, but that team's going to get Kucherov back come playoff time. We all know it. I'm not trying to make any conspiracy theories type things here with cap circumvention or anything, but Nikita Kucherov is probably going to come back come playoff time, and that team's just going to – they have a legitimate chance at winning it all for a second year in a row, becoming the first team since the Penguins and the second team since the 98 Red Wings to repeat. But I like Tampa. In the East, again, I'm going to go Boston. And we didn't also get into this name in trade rumors, but Matthias Ekholm has been put on the block. I shouldn't say that. Not put on the block, but it came out that Nashville's list of untouchables was Roman Yossi, Ryan Ellis, and Pekka Rinne. I don't know why a 38-year-old was an untouchable. I'm guessing because they just don't want to move him, and he just said no to being moved.
Mm.
But yeah, those are the only three guys listed as untouchable in Nashville. So Matthias Ekholm could be a name that could be moved, and I think Boston would be a perfect fit for him. And that would be a scary, scary defense, adding Matthias Ekholm to guys like Charlie McAvoy, Matt Grzelcyk, Brandon Carlo, and so on. That would complete that top four. In the West, everybody wants to look at Colorado, and I don't blame them, but I don't see the goaltending being enough. I like them going forward, but I don't like them this year. St. Louis is really scary because they'll get Vladimir Tarasenko back come playoff. And that's after they added Mike Hoffman in the offseason. So their scoring is going to go through the roof once that happens. They're going to be a tough team to play against. But Las Vegas, tell you right now, they make one move at the deadline and they get a good center to help them out. You added Alex Pietrangelo in the offseason. Just that team is going to be really, really tough to play against if they don't deal Marc-Andre Fleury back to Pittsburgh.
Well, if they do that, then Robin Lehner has got to be 100% healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to go different only because of the sake of going different. Except really Boston. Boston, I think, is the consensus to come out of the East. I try to say there are other guys. Part of me wants to really say Florida, but also part of me wants to say, again, this is for you, Pete. This is for the Carolina Hurricanes, my friend who was a Whalers fan back when we were in high school together and has still cheered them on. There might be something about Carolina. They upgrade their goaltending or just get Peter Mrazek back, who was playing well before that. They might be a real solid team. The West, I have to say it's either Vegas or St. Louis. I just don't know if Colorado has the it factor yet. We'll see about that. And you know what? Because the Boston Bruins are in the East, mark it down. The Toronto Maple Leafs will be in the conference finals. Ooh. That's what I'm going to say right now. Okay. The Toronto Maple Leafs are going to be in the conference finals, and Austin and that second round series, I'll call it right now, that second round series of Matthews versus McDavid is going to be electric. And I just think this is finally their year. The monkey it wasn't moved off it wasn't like pulled off their back, but it was just sent away, and they go, okay, we don't have to play with Boston anymore, or no Tampa Bay. Like Toronto might Toronto's got 30 points right now. They're crushing everybody.
Oh, hey, you still here? Well, you know what you should do? You should watch some of these other videos on our channel, like this one, comment, and share it with other people.